many times you guys were matched up on Kennedy in the slot, but Dana was talking about what a good camp he's had as a receiver. Just from a cornerback coach's perspective, what do you see out of McCoy if he has to get extended reps at receiver?
Well, as far as McCoy goes, we haven't faced him a ton one-on-one matchups. We had a few matchups with him, but he does some really good things. He's really athletic. He's a matchup issue for anybody that he faces because he can run the ball, he can catch the ball, and then he has a running back mentality once he catches the ball, so he's difficult to get on the ground. So I like where he's at, and he's going to help us a lot this year.
And last one for me. 2 years ago, they were teaching the back pedal method. Last year, Blue had some new techniques. Where do you fit in with that, and how much of a fundamental leap did these guys have to make with technique?
Not a ton. Me and Blue actually teach some of the same things, and then I do a few things different that I brought in, but I don't think they've had to change a ton. We've changed some stuff in different coverages, but nothing overall. Playing man-to-man is playing man-to-man at the end of the day, but we just try to be more consistent, and, we go day by day, and each day have a emphasis. So if it's press man, we work on that day. If it's off man, or if it's zone coverage, whatever it may be. So try to have an emphasis of the day so we can hone in on one thing rather than being all over the place. And then when we get to the scrimmages and we get to the competition with the offense, we can see how those skills translate over that we've been working in the drill work and individuals.
I know coming into the season, there was a lot of talk about, concern about replacing the two corners, but I haven't sensed that during camp, that, guys have been performing maybe to your expectations or a little better maybe, or?
Yeah, I think they've been performing very well. I think the thing that they have to prove is that they could do it in game time situation when the lights come on against a good opponent, Big 12 competition, or whether it's Virginia Tech to start the season. They got good work at practice every day with the receivers that we have, but I think when the lights come on, trying to see them compete and have confidence in what they do when they're facing somebody other than their teammates who they go against every day.
Everybody's got unknowns. What are some of the unknowns that are sitting at the top of your head right now as you go into 2 weeks ago or 13 days?
I think it's the same thing. I want to see how they compete against these other guys. We want to be relentless and we want to play fast and do those things that we practice, but you have to be able to translate that from the meeting room to the drill work to competing in practice, but ultimately you got to be able to do it in the game, and that's the thing that I'm interested to see. We've gotten better as camp's going on. I think that we're hitting our stride at the right time, but I want to see these guys compete at a high level when we play in
What
the
about
games.
the physicality? I know the way the game's structured today, the way the practice is structured today, you don't really get to see a lot of that until they get out there and it's live. Are you seeing enough?
Yeah, I think we see enough. The good thing about the way we have to practice now, and even when I was at Alabama, we never tackled in practice. So for me, when you can't take the guys to the ground in practice, you have to work on good tackling fundamentals. So being in the right spot, coming at the right angle, thudding the runner up, as we call it, creating contact, I think that helps you become a better tackler at the end of the day rather than if you could just run and cut his legs out from under him, as you could do in the game, but proper angles and proper technique. And, we've gotten a lot better at that during camp, but I always challenge them to be physical.
Of course, the everyday grind of working through pain and all that, you're not going to know that until you start playing some games because you don't practice that way anymore.
No, you don't practice, but the first couple weeks of camp are really hard, so you get the soreness and you keep trying to push them. So when that time comes, they're prepared. But I think we'll be okay if we can eliminate the big plays and kind of, get off the field on third down. That takes a lot of stress off of you physically as well.
How they reacted with you not on the field when you had the scrimmage situations? Have they performed to your level?
Yeah, I've been really impressed, and that's the one thing I challenge them every day in practice, to just kind of let them play, get out there, try to let them go during the practice time situation. So when we get in the scrimmage, you kind of see how it translates over. So they've done pretty well doing that. And I think it's a few things we got to clean up as far as, getting the signals and doing the right things and the techniques. But overall, they've played hard, and they've done pretty well when we got in scrimmage situations.
You had to count how many you think you got ready right now?
I think we got 5 to 6 guys that I think can go in and play winning football for us right now. It's kind of been a unique camp. We've repped a lot of guys, probably more than any of us as coaches have repped up to this point. But we've had some guys in and out, switching the lineups up, trying to see how they respond. So when the game time comes, we kind of see who we can count on and put them in uncomfortable situations when they don't know they'll be in those situations, and kind of see how they react and respond. And they've done pretty well so far. So I think we got these guys almost where we want them to be, but I think a few guys will separate themselves as we get in this last week of prep before we seriously get into Virginia Tech game planning.